Hello and welcome to a new episode of History on Your Doorstep here in the Vale of Glamorgan.
This particular episode focuses on a moment in time during the Elizabethan era when a scandal threatened the downfall of one of the most powerful dynasties in Welsh history.
The family in question here were the Straddling family of St Donat's Castle, just outside Llantwit Major. They served as magistrates, members of parliament, sheriffs and deputy lieutenants of Glamorganshire from the 13th to the 18th century and were pillars of British society. For example, Sir Edward Straddling III fought at the Battle of Agincourt and married a great-granddaughter of Edward III and established himself as a powerful landowner and courtier. One of his descendants, Sir Henry Straddling, himself an influential man and an MP, presided over the family estate here at St Donat's Castle in 1559, at the time the events we are about to discuss were to unfold. The legend goes that a traveller was walking along the road to Wick. His journey had been uneventful until he was just a few yards from St Donat's Castle. There he was inextricably struck down to his knees by the sight of an apparition of Christ on the cross on the bough of an ash tree. There were understandably gasps all round. Sir Henry had to be told, and word was sent to the castle, and Sir Henry, with all due haste, made his way down to the tree to survey the scene for himself. Now bear in mind that this was during the reign of Elizabeth I, when Britain had for some years been a Protestant country. But despite this, the Straddlings of St Donat's Castle had remained ardently and openly Catholic. So when this story surfaced, Sir Thomas Straddling sailed dangerously close to the wind when he decided to publicly declare it a miracle. He then made matters worse for himself when he ordered effigies of this crucifixion scene to be made from the wood of this tree, and that they should be sold to pilgrims. Elizabeth I was famous for having spies everywhere. In fact, here in the Vale of Glamorgan, she had Catholics spying on other Catholics, as it was Thomas Carn of Iwenny Priory who dobbed poor Henry in. He was arrested and incarcerated in the Tower of London in 1561, while the remains of his tree were dragged to London and destroyed, but not before a team of esteemed clerics had very vocally debunked any possibilities that there was anything miraculous about it. He would undoubtedly have faced execution as a heretic, if not for a very swift and emphatic retraction and apology. His representative pleaded to the Queen on his behalf. For if he had known or thought that your Highness or your Council would have been offended therewith or taken ill heart, he would not for anything have done it. The Queen showed him leniency and agreed to release him if he agreed to pay a fine of 1,000 marks, which he did. He can't have been quite as remorseful as he claimed to be, however. Shortly after his release, he erected a plinth of dressed stone with a crucifix on it at the point on the wall around his estate where the miracle had supposedly happened. Clearly a man who liked to live dangerously. It's still there to this day, and you can see it if you walk along the lane between Llantwit Major and St Donat's. Eventually, Sir Henry died of a fever at Famagusta, returning from a pilgrimage to the Holy Land in 1571. But his cross is still there for all to see.